High-def rock and roll 24/7. You're on ClassicRockRadioHD.com.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. We are live today, and it's a live show today. This show, those of you who don't know, we've been broadcasting Law Talk for 16 years, and it has grown to such a large show that it is too big for one studio. That's right. We've got Shane in the studio in Temple, taking care of all the needs there. And I am broadcasting because it's too big of a show to do it all from that studio every single Saturday morning that I've had to leave and go other places. So I'm in Fredericksburg this morning. It's a little bit warmer than it has been the last few Saturdays early this morning. It's been in the upper 50s most days when I've walked out to do the show, and it looks to me like it's got to be in the 70s. Yeah, it's 75 degrees this morning. And overcast, though, and hoping we don't have a real scorcher. Yesterday got up to about 94, and it is summer. It is kind of getting to be late June now. So anyway, we got to expect this kind of weather, right? The number to call, if you'd like to call in and ask a question, make a comment, 1-866-895-6442. That's 1-866-89-LOGIC. And just so you know, we are on more than just terrestrial radio. We are streamed in a number of places. KTIM, myktim.com, does stream us live. So you can listen to us if you're in another area. You can listen to us if you don't have a radio nearby. And on your computer, go to mylogic.com. You can hear us live there. We also have a website that you can listen to us on, and that is logicnation.us. Facebook, if you're on Facebook, if you're a Facebooker, and there are a few of those out there, I do know that, you can listen live and watch live. We have a video cam in the studio, and you can watch us live at Logic Nation Radio. That's Logic Nation Radio on Facebook. Also on YouTube and Vimeo, you can watch us and listen to us on Logic Nation Radio. Now, here's where we're going to throw you a curve. All right? Be careful. I know this early in the morning it's kind of hard to think these things through, but we have two other places you can follow us. If you are active on Twitter or Periscope, you can watch us and listen to us on logicnation.usa. All right? We are on 8 to 10. Today's topic, we're going to talk about no-knock searches. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit after I've finished talking about the pandemic and some of the other just main news that's going on today. So just want you to know that. But listen, Shay, grab your mic. I got a question for you. It's a real deep question.
Okay, go for it.
It may be one that a lot of our listeners do not know.
Okay.
Certainly, I am somewhat familiar with Vimeo.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know a little bit about Vimeo. How did it come about? Who owns it? What can you do with Vimeo that maybe you cannot do on Facebook or YouTube or some of these other platforms?
Well, Vimeo is basically just another video sharing site. It's kind of like YouTube, but it's not really. It's more for, YouTube is for uploading videos. Vimeo is more geared toward the live streaming. Now, you can upload videos and whatnot to it, but it's more for the live streaming, and that's what we use as our subscription to feed the show, and that's what feeds all the other social media platforms is through Vimeo. So that's kind of what it does.
Okay. Now, but it's my understanding also you can send people money through Vimeo.
I think I don't think so.
Oh, no, that's Venmo. That's Venmo.
Yeah, that's
right?
Venmo.
So tell us what Venmo does.
Well, Venmo actually, someone was talking to me about this week. I hadn't heard about it until this week, but apparently it's very popular for being able to, send money to other people. It's a platform that's not like a regular bank or anything like that. It's everything's done electronic, but it's very popular amongst the younger generation to use to send money because, as we all know, the younger generation doesn't use cash. Well, this is their version of cash. It can let you do, there's no minimum to the amount of money you can send or anything like that. But that's what the younger generation, is using is Venmo.
So do you know how you get money into your Venmo account so you can send it to somebody else's Venmo account?
I have not looked at it yet. I just know my niece.
I have stumped the great Shane.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
niece.
very proud of myself.
My niece is big into it, and her friends are big into it, but I have not looked at it yet because I'm old according to her.
Well, yesterday, I've known about Venmo for a while, and our son Grant uses it some, and he's 23, and but yesterday I bought a secondhand washer and dryer through Facebook Marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked them how, they would like payment. And one of the options was Venmo. They really wanted me to Venmo them. And, I said, well, I hated to say, well, I just don't have enough money in my Venmo account because I don't know if that's even correct or not. So I just said, look, I'll just write you a check. Is that okay? And they said, fine. So that's my next job this next week, to learn a little bit more about Venmo. And by the way, anybody out there that is either younger than us and know what this is, or would just happens to know, please call us. We would like to know. 1-866-895-6442. And you can kind of educate Shane and myself a little bit about Venmo. But you can watch us and hear us on Vimeo, which to me sounds almost the same, but it's not, on Logic Nation Radio. All right. Well, boy, I killed the first segment, didn't I?
Yep.
We'll be right back in just a couple of seconds after this commercial break. I'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Betros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council. Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Well, welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. We're live today. Our number to call, 866-895-LOGIC, and we are trying to figure out exactly how to use Venmo, what it is. And Shane, power up the mic again. I got another question or two.
Okay.
I know you're not going to know the answers,
Okay.
but I love it when I stump you. So if somebody came to my law office and wanted to hire me using Venmo, can they Venmo me into my bank account, or do they have to Venmo me into my Venmo account?
Well, I was looking up Venmo on the break, and it's basically an app for your phone. It has its on the business side, they have a social commerce platform where individuals can pay you, and it basically, you connect your Venmo app on your phone with your bank account. And what basically would happen is it goes from their Venmo to your Venmo, and then you can dump it into your bank account after, a day or a week or whatever.
Okay, so you can put it into your bank account. Because I was trying to figure out how I could utilize that. If somebody wanted to Venmo me, then how do I spend that money?
Yeah.
Do I have to Venmo somebody back, or can I get it into another, pay my credit card with the Venmo, or put it into my, bank account or something like that?
Now, you can pay bills with Venmo. You can pay vendors and do everything else from your Venmo account. if that's what you choose to do, or you can also connect it to your bank and just dump it into your bank. Either way.
Okay. Are there fees to have a Venmo account or the Venmo app?
On the personal side, on the individual side, no, it's free. On the business side, there are transaction fees for using Venmo, though.
All right, so I assume it's similar to like a credit card or something.
Yeah,
fee.
Yeah, it's similar to a terminal fee on the business side of things. Yes.
All right. Well, very interesting. Well, all right. Thanks for that. Thanks for looking that up during the break. Very interesting. So, well, anyway, let's talk about some other things. So we kind of got a little increase in the COVID-19 deaths here in Bell County. We went from 3 deaths to 10 deaths in about a week. And the good news and the bad news on that is the 7 increases all came from the Weston Inn Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Temple. And as you know, that is what we commonly refer to as a nursing home. And certainly those people that are in there are in jeopardy. They have multiple medical problems, and they are more susceptible to contracting the virus, especially if they're in a closed environment. And if that virus gets into the environment, it's just very easy to get it. And there have been a number. I think I saw a number in the neighborhood of 40 or 41 people that were connected to the Weston Inn Nursing and Rehab Center that have contracted COVID-19. Most of them were patients or residents at the Weston Inn Nursing and Rehab Center, but some of them were employees. And you would have to know that obviously the only way it got into the facility was through probably employees, because they're not allowing anybody to go and visit a facility like that, to visit their loved one in there. So anyway, we've now had our 10th coronavirus-related death in Bell County, the 7th one in that particular facility. And so again, we've had 3 consecutive days of at least 90 new cases in Bell County. We had an additional 17 infections Friday. That now has pushed Bell County over the 700 mark. We've got 716 confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in Bell County. So that gives us a positivity rate of 3.13%. So it's kind of getting a little more serious. And this nursing home thing has been something, I'm sure you followed it. If you haven't been following COVID. But nursing homes have been representing more than 1 in 4 deaths nationwide have been COVID deaths, COVID-19 deaths. And it's just been a real problem. 1 in 10 of the people that have had it have been in nursing home facilities. And, we know that's been a real problem. We first originally saw it in New York City and New York State, where they had such a large number of deaths, and primarily because the governor there, Governor Cuomo, was instructing ill patients in hospitals that had COVID-19 to have them go to nursing home facilities in his state, and to be in there and to recover while in there. And, of course, that was a recipe for disaster, to put it mildly. And so we've had many, a large, high percentage of deaths. 1 in 4, 25% of all deaths have been in residents of nursing homes. 1 in 10 reflect the number of actual people that have had a positive test for coronavirus. And we've got over 1 million, almost 1.5 million people in nursing homes that live in facilities like that. And they are absorbing, or a large burden from this pandemic. And, obviously the governor of the great state of Texas has been doing things to try to avoid some of that. As a matter of fact, he actually sent out a directive that all nursing homes are to be tested for COVID-19. And that is why we have seen the dramatic numbers in nursing homes across the great state of Texas test positive. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it. Let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Art Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got 2 more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi. Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, y'all, Jeff Foxworthy here.
Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. We're live today in the studio. If you'd like to call us, 1-866-895-6442. 866-895-6442. That is our number to call if you'd like to weigh in on some of these things. And again, you can follow us online. If you're going to be away from your phone or not have good cell phone range, you can listen to us and watch us live on logicnation.us. On Facebook, you can check us out at Logic Nation Radio. YouTube, the same, Logic Nation Radio, and Vimeo, not to be confused with Venmo. We've learned that today. Vimeo, Logic Nation Radio, excuse me. Twitter and Periscope, you can watch us and follow us live on Logic Nation USA. So I hope you can take a look at those and stream those. A little later today, we're going to be talking about no-knock searches. That has been a very controversial police tactic that has resulted in a lot of deaths of not only suspects, but also innocent bystanders and law enforcement officers also. So you'll want to listen and stay tuned as we talk about and discuss no-knock searches. And I'll give you a little hint. I am really against no-knock searches. I think they're not necessary to proper policing, and I will discuss that with you later. And I would love it if when we're talking about that, if we have some law enforcement people out there listening to today's show, certainly call in at that time, 866-895-6442. We would love to hear your side of that. So we have been talking a little bit about the COVID, and so far we've had 363 new cases here in Bell County. That's quite an increase. Matter of fact, a 50.7% increase overall cases. For the Aggies out there in Shane, that's over half. And the testing is ramping up, and I do understand that. That is one of the reasons we're getting more positive results, because if you test for it, you're going to get positive and negative results, right? And so if you continue to test and increase your testing, you're going to get more results. We do have some mobile testing sites that will be available this coming week. The state of Texas is offering drive-through COVID-19 testing at 3 temporary sites this next week in Bell County. They are, first of all, from 8 to 5 on Wednesday. They'll be at the Holland Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department Station at 105 Travis Street. That's for that one day only. That's Wednesday, 8 to 5. It's free of charge. If you can't make that, you can go the very next day to at Nolanville Central Bell County Fire and Rescue Station at 100 North Main Street in Nolanville. Again, that's for just one day, one single day from 8 to 5. Then the next day, they're going to take this testing site to Temple, and it'll be at the Temple Central Fire Station at 210 North 3rd Street. And it'll actually be there June the 26th, 27th, and 28th. So it'll be there 3 days. It's by appointment only. And if you want an appointment, you can go to txcovidtest.org. txcovidtest.org. Or you can call this number, 512-883-2400. Now, as always, only people that are going to be tested are those that have symptoms. So what are the symptoms? Well, I would imagine most people got to know this by now, but I'm going to let you know anyway. Fever, usually 101, 102, 103 temperature. Chills, a cough, fatigue, body aches, shortness of breath, sore throat, headaches, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, nasal congestion, and a loss of taste or smell. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a vicious virus. When you say if you have all those symptoms. Anyway, so you can certainly go and be tested if you have those. Now, again, we know that according to the CDC, about 50% of the people that do test positive eventually are asymptomatic, which means they have no symptoms. So you're running around, you've got COVID-19, you don't even know it. Shane might have it right now. I might have it right now. Different people you interact with may have it right now. That's why it's important not to hug, not to shake hands. If you do, go wash your hands. It's important to wear masks, especially if you're going to be close up to people, and that kind of thing. And so you just got to be careful. So I'm continuing to wash my hands many, many times a day, probably 10 times a day, if not more. I probably should be doing it more because I do interact with people on a daily basis in my law office. But if you're, and if you're going out places and you H-E-B, Walmart, that kind of thing, it's being encouraged to wear. You're being encouraged to wear face mask. It is not mandatory unless you're in a few select states or a few select cities in the state of Texas. Now, I don't know the exact all of the cities in Texas that are requiring it right now, but I do know Dallas and San Antonio are requiring it. I would imagine Houston is requiring it, and I just saw last night that Waco, Texas, is now requiring it if you're going into a business or you're going into just going outside. And so, and there's a fine attached if you don't do it. And some of them are $1,000, some of them are $500. So, if the city of Temple were to require it, then I would be required to make people have their masks or provide a mask for them if I have access to masks. And if I didn't, and if the police came and contacted me and saw that we were not following the local rules and laws in regard to this, then we could be fined, depending on the jurisdiction, $500 to $1,000. Now, will they be able to collect that and enforce that? That your guess is as good as mine on that. But that is certainly a possibility. And you just got to make sure that everything, you're following the laws. I would not advise breaking those laws, even though I disagree with that particular law. I would not recommend it. Anyway, so of course the virus is moving forward in a lot of places. I know I have family in New Mexico and in the northeastern section of New Mexico, in the Four Corners area of both New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, and Nevada. There, that Four Corners area, there's a large Navajo reservation there, and there's a huge outbreak in the Navajo reservation. And the reason for that, there's multiple reasons. They do normally live in multi-generational homes. That is grandchildren, children, parents, grandparents, and even great-grandparents all living in the same home, which can cause some real problems, of course, as far as contraction of it. And then the ones that are older are having more difficulty surviving, or they have worse cases of the COVID-19. And so that's been a big problem in that area. Also, the United States Latino communities have been very, very hard hit with it. And it's just going rampant in the Latino population, probably for the same reason as in the Navajo Nation situation. All right, well, that's time for another quick break. We'll take that break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, QuickWrenchAutomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE-certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone. At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
They started making a video for you to watch every morning before you go out in public.
All right, welcome back to Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. Micah, Shane, got another question I want to ask you, and I know you're doing your show immediately after this show.
Yes.
I'm assuming you're going to be discussing this latest thing about the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York City, that debacle that's going on right this second. Have you heard about that yet?
I haven't heard about it yet.
It is very, very crazy. It's last night I heard that the U.S. Attorney in New York, Central District of New York, had resigned, and it was presumed to be under pressure by Trump, and that he had instructed Bill Barr, the Attorney General, to go down and fire him.
Mm-hmm.
Or make him quit, and the U.S. Attorney, the Attorney General did go to New York last night, and he met one-on-one with the U.S. Attorney. And this is a very powerful U.S. Attorney. It's the U.S. Attorney's Office that handled things like the Gotti mafia trials.
Yeah.
If there had been trials about the Twin Trade Centers, being bombed and destroyed by the planes, it would have been that office. A lot of very high profile. He investigated and prosecuted William Cohen, the President Trump's attorney, and fixer. We'd put that in quotation marks.
Yeah.
And so did a lot. That office is. Does a lot of prosecutions. And normally presidents do appoint people. That's kind of one of the perks of the job of president. Usually, if a Democratic president is appointed, well, then in Texas we have 4 U.S. attorneys that are appointed in the eastern, western, northern, and southern districts of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And out of those U.S. attorneys, many big, high-profile jobs come out. I mean, they're high-profile enough as they are, but a lot of them become U.S. attorneys general and heads of the CIA, heads of the FBI, all in all, like that. Just go on and on. So he went down there and he basically tried to push this U.S. attorney out. When he left the meeting, the Attorney General announced that the U.S. Attorney had resigned. And by the way, the guy's name is Jeffrey Berman. Berman had resigned. And then an hour after that, the president put out a post saying who he was going to appoint to replace Berman. And then right after that, the U.S. Attorney Berman, who they were trying to get out, learned about it through a press release, and he put out his own press release saying, and I'm quoting it now, "I have not resigned. I have no intention of resigning my position to which I was appointed." And so this is going to be playing out. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. So during some of the breaks, you might want to kind of catch up a little bit on that, because it's going to be a huge story over the entire weekend, and probably until Bill Barr just fires him. That's what he's got to do. Now he's just going to have to fire him.
Yeah.
He's trying to get him to resign. Now he's going to have to terminate him, and they're saying it's very similar. The liberal media is trying to say it's very similar to when Nixon was trying to get rid of the U.S. Attorney and the Attorney General as they were investigating Watergate. So the libs are going to really be pushing that very, very consistently. But other than that, tell me what you're planning on talking about during your show today.
Well, on Weekend Logic this week, we'll be talking about a wide ranging of issues. Trump's rally's tonight. I don't know if anyone remembers, but it was originally scheduled for yesterday, and because of the Juneteenth, outcry, he rescheduled it for today, or this evening rather. And there's a lot of backlash coming with that. Claire McCaskill, former rep from Missouri, is saying, Trump supporters are gleefully putting other people at risk. So we'll be talking about that. And we'll be talking about Pelosi, who's removing statues and pictures from the Capitol of Confederate, speakers of the House. And we'll be also talking about, the coronavirus spike and what that means for the economy, and lots of other things, as well as the Supreme Court DACA decision that came down yesterday. So we'll be talking about all that coming up.
Well, and that just makes you want a 4-hour show, doesn't it? 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, you can literally fill 4 hours and not have to repeat yourself any.
Yeah, that's right.
With what's been going on.
That's
it might
right.
be a little bit exhausting, though. Your wife might not want a 4-hour show.
That's right. She barely wants me to have a 2-hour show, but that's okay.
All right. Thanks for that update, Shane. Well, anyway, so back to this Berman thing. This is just crazy what's going on. So the William Barr went down to ask for Berman's resignation, U.S. Attorney's resignation. I'm not sure if Barr misunderstood Berman or what, but he went out and said that he's resigned. He announced that to the press, and maybe he thought if he announced that would pressure him into going in and capitulating and resigning. But instead, he pushed back and said, "I have not resigned. I have no intention of resigning my position as U.S. Attorney, and that all these investigations are going to move forward without delay or interruption." So that obviously opens up a new crisis in the Justice Department. It places the leadership of the most prominent federal prosecutor's office outside of Washington, D.C., in a very precarious position. And so, what's going to occur on this? My prediction is that Barr is going to fire Berman. And by the way, they had offered Berman another high-profile position in the U.S. Justice Department to take instead of the prosecutor's position, and he turned that down. And so my guess is what will happen is he will be fired. That'll allow him about 4 months to get his book written, get it published, and get it out prior to the November election. And we'll have yet another book, as we do very often at the end of a presidential term, denigrating the president and causing issues for them. Anyway, he had been offered other positions at Justice, including the head of the Civil Division, where Jody Hunt had announced his departure. Earlier this week, he declined that. He was asked to resign. He refused to do that. William Barr asked him to resign in an in-person interview in New York on Friday, and evidently he refused. And anyway, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny involved with what's happened today. And I don't know, sometimes in politics, people will start an issue to take away from another issue that's going on that they want people watching and taking a look at. They want to distract. And I'm not saying that's going on from the Republican side or the Democratic side. I simply don't know. I just know that's what they will do sometimes to just draw attention to something else instead of what may be the more important of those issues. Well, all right. I hear the music. That means it's time to take a break. We're going to take a hard break for the news. When we get back, we're going to begin our discussion about no-knock searches. Very controversial type of search warrant that is used that I disagree with, and I think many Americans do. We'll talk about that when we get back from the break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Now, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing over and over for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
That's why I'm filling in for Smokey to switch things up, because there's a lot more to say. And I should know because my grandfather was a firefighter. And one of the things he taught me is that the people that love the outdoors the most are often the ones accidentally starting wildfires, which means always BYOB. No, bring your own bucket to the campfire. And be extra careful with things like burning yard trimmings. Don't just walk away, or chances are you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Keep his head. Heaven opens up the door where angels fear to tread. Some men go crazy, some men go slow, some men go just where they want, some men never go. Oh, blame it on midnight. Ooh. Friends' faces all around, laughing right out loud. Hey, watch me going, step light on toes. 'Cause until you've been beside a man, you don't know who he knows. Blame it on midnight. Shame on the moon. Blame it on midnight. Shame on the moon. Blame it on midnight. Shame on the moon. Shame on the moon. All we've got is this moment. 21st century's yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay, yeah. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. You're one of my kind. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, girl, that makes me sweat.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
family. 'Cause I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. 'Cause I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. We are family. I got all my sist
Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome back. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. We are live today. I'm broadcasting from Fredericksburg, Texas. Shane's there in the studio, holding down the fort there and making sure everything's running correctly there. Also, he is there to broadcast his show that is going to be coming on right after this show at 10 to 12 noon. And Shane, why don't you tell folks a little bit about your show, Weekend Logic, and what you're going to be talking about today?
Sure. Weekend Logic comes on right after Ed's show from 10 to 12 on our website, logicnation.us, as well as all of our social media. We'll be talking about what's happened this past week and what to look forward to in the next week. The Supreme Court put out a ruling concerning DACA. Everyone's concerned, Democrats at least, are trashing Trump's rally tonight in Tulsa, saying that it might be, a black eye in the history of the United States. I don't know how they got that, and then you have Pelosi, who's, getting rid of all the Confederate pictures and statues in the Capitol. So we have a lot to talk about this week, and yeah, we could spend about 4 or 5 hours on it without repeating ourselves at all. But that's what's coming up on Weekend Logic right after Ed's show.
Excellent. We'll look forward to that, and I know people will be also. And tell them how they can find you online, Jane.
Sure. I'll be on the same online channels as Ed is with Law Talk. We stream on our website, logicnation.us, as well as all of our social media. So, Ed, I'll save you the time of doing the social media stuff, and I'll just do it. Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo at Logic Nation Radio, Twitter, and Periscope at Logic Nation USA. So that's how you can find us.
Excellent. So I want to talk a little bit about no-knock warrants today, and I saved it for the second hour for a lot of reasons. I did want to talk about COVID and some of the issues going on with that, and also the Attorney General going down to fire or to ask the U.S. Attorney to resign during the first hour. But a no-knock warrant is a very controversial warrant. It's a warrant here in the United States. It's a warrant that's issued by a judge that allows the officer, the law enforcement, to enter a property without immediate prior notification of the residents, such as by knocking or ringing a doorbell. So they can just literally come to your door and bust the door in. Normally, they do it at a time they think you would not be expecting it. So that would be very early in the wee hours in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, when they would anticipate you were asleep to catch you off guard. So can you imagine if you are in your home and somebody just busts your door down? Now, sometimes they will announce, they'll scream it out. Police, except not in that calm of a voice, obviously. Police. And if you're asleep, you may not necessarily understand exactly what's happened, except somebody has just knocked your door in. And so what is the initial reaction? My wife and I have a license to carry a handgun. So and of course, even if you don't have a license, you're legally allowed to possess one in your home unless you are a convicted felon. And so if somebody's breaking into my house, I'm going to be grabbing my gun, right? Which is what most people would do. And it's just now in some cases the law enforcement will identify themselves, but again, in my opinion, they do not adequately identify themselves before they forcefully enter the property. Also, I don't think they should be able to enforceably enter the property anyway. There are, property damage, who is responsible to pay for that damage. destroying the door jamb, things like that. Also, in lots of cases, I can't say it's many because I don't know that, but in a number of cases, lots of cases, they have busted in to the wrong home. It's just like the police officer in Dallas that entered the apartment and saw the black male in shorts or boxer shorts sitting and watching television. He gets up, she fires and shoots him. So what had happened there? She says she thought she was in her apartment. And in fact, her apartment was below his apartment. But she had just accidentally gone into the wrong house. And going into the wrong house with a loaded gun in your hand can be a very dangerous situation. And obviously she reacted, and she's in prison right now because of that reaction. And of course, had he had his door locked, there might have been a different story to that. I don't know why he had his front door unlocked, but he did. So she just walked in. She didn't break in. She didn't bust it in like a no-knock warrant is. But the purpose of no-knock warrants, of course, is it's under the belief that any evidence they hope to find could be destroyed if the police officer come and knock on the door and say, "Please, may I be allowed in? Please, I have a warrant for Billy Bob Smith, and would he please come out peacefully?" And obviously, we do know that criminals aren't necessarily going to be the ones that are going to jump up and abide by the law and do what they should do. And they may very well destroy some evidence if the officers did identify themselves. So you've got to weigh what's better for society. Is it better that you get the goods with them and get the evidence with the no-knock searches? Or is it better to avoid the potential of death of someone because of that? And we had a recent incident about that in March of this year of Breonna Taylor. We'll talk about Breonna Taylor and some more things in just a couple of minutes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
Divorce attorney Ed Laughlin.
Is your marriage on the rocks? Have you been wanting to get a divorce but just haven't found an attorney that you can afford? Well, your search for an affordable attorney is finally over. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and I've been helping Texans get fast, inexpensive, hassle-free divorces for 25 years. I offer reasonable fees and always allow my clients to pay out their fees in payments that they can afford. Call me today at 773-8399 or toll-free 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment to get started. The first visit is always free.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed Laughlin today at 1-800-492-2589 or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589 or online at edlaughlin.com. That's 1-800-492-2589. Let Ed help you with all your legal needs. You'll feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad in Names and Numbers.
Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures. If you've decided to carry a handgun for self-defense, you better know what you're doing. If you don't, you better learn fast. Not only fast, but thoroughly. Aaron's Gun Shop and High Cap Adventures fills the void between a Johnny wannabe and a person who has been properly trained in the proper handling and use of a firearm. Call me, Matt Petros, at 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com and set up a class or seminar to get you started on the road to proficiency with a firearm for self-defense. Go to our website, aaronsgunshop.com, and review the High Cap Adventures page. We have seminars to cover most forms of firearms training. Call 254-697-4721 or email me at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com to get more information on how to get started with your training. The time for games is over. Reality starts now. aaronsgunshop.com.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
All right, everybody in the car, let's go.
What are we going to do first when we get there, Mom? Go for a hike?
Sure, if you want.
What about canoeing? Can we go canoeing too?
I don't see why.
What about a bike ride? No, I want to fish.
Okay.
I've never been fishing.
Honey, we can do it all.
How long does it take to get to the forest?
It's not.
Is it going to be long?
No, sweetie.
I bet it takes forever.
It's not that far.
Are we there yet?
Yep, we're here.
Already? No way. Come on.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your naturehood. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Good morning, Central Texas. Welcome back. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, your host. We're live today. I'm down in Fredericksburg, Texas. Shane is in the studio helping me out there. Appreciate him so much. We're talking about no-knock searches. If you've got a feeling about those, pro or con, give us a call. I'd love to hear from you. 866-895-6442 is our phone number to call. That phone number again is 1-866-895-6442. And I wanted to talk about a specific case, and one of the reasons I'm against no-knock warrants is one that just happened in March of this year. Breonna Taylor. Breonna was a 26-year-old African-American emergency medical technician. She was fatally shot by the Louisville Metro Police Department on March 13th of this year. The facts of that case are that 3 plainclothes officers, and that's another issue in and of itself there that can cause some problems with no-knock searches, but 3 plainclothes Louisville Metro Police Department officers came to execute a no-knock search warrant. They entered her apartment in Louisville, Kentucky. Gunfire was exchanged. There's some discrepancy who shot first. But gunfire was exchanged between Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, and the officers. Walker, the boyfriend, said he believed the officers were intruders. The Louisville Metro Police Department fired 20 shots, over 20 shots, into that apartment. Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times and died. One of the sergeants, Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, was injured by gunfire. There was another officer and a lieutenant with the police department there on the scene when the warrant was executed. Now, here's some very critical key things of this. The primary targets of the investigation were 2 people that didn't even live there, that were not even there that night. Jamarcus Glover and Adrian Walker. So they didn't live there. They weren't on the lease. They had never lived there. and they were looking for them. They were suspected of selling controlled substances from a drug house more than 10 miles away. So they were suspects selling drugs in a house more than 10 miles away. Now, one of those suspects had a prior relationship with Taylor, but it was a prior relationship. It was not current. The warrant included Taylor's residence because it was suspected that Glover received packages containing drugs at that apartment, and because a car registered to Taylor had been seen parked there on several occasions in front of Glover's house. No drugs of any kind were found in the apartment. So get this. Let's say you have acquaintances that come and visit you. They visit your children, watch movies, watch Netflix, go out and swim in the pool if you have one. They have dinner with you. And they're suspected drug dealers, and their cars have been seen at your home. So the officers, ask for this warrant. A judge grants it. Shots are found or fired due to the no-knock status of it. And again, if you were a normal person, somebody bashes your door in, you're going to think they're an intruder, right? Because neither Taylor, neither Breonna or her boyfriend had any prior criminal record. Now, Walker, the current boyfriend that shot his gun, he had a legal license to carry a firearm. So he was not some thug that just, carried a gun to protect himself and to intimidate and to steal and to rob from people. He had a license to carry. And I will tell you, in every state, if you are licensed to carry a holder, you are a law-abiding person. I have a license to carry. My wife has a license to carry. You have to go through an FBI background check in order to be able to have a license to carry a firearm. But this boyfriend, he's woken up in the middle of the night. He grabs his gun because he thinks somebody's breaking in. He fired first, injuring a law enforcement officer. This is what the evidence is showing. And then the police returned fire with more than 20 rounds. Now, there was a wrongful death lawsuit filed, of course, against the police. That's done in almost every case, trust me, by Taylor's family attorney, and against the officers who entered the home without knocking or announcing a search warrant. The allegations are that they fired with a total disregard for the value of human life. So let me give you the names of the actors in this situation, and then we'll go into the actual shooting and we'll talk about some more details of it. So Breonna Taylor, she was born in June of '93, died March 13th, 2020 at the hands of law enforcement there. Born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She graduated from high school, studied at the University of Kentucky, became an emergency medical technician, working at 2 separate hospitals. At the time of her death, she was working at the University of Louisville Health Department. Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, lived with her in the apartment. Jonathan Mattingly, he was a Louisville Metro police officer. Became a sergeant in 2009. He had about 19 years experience in law enforcement. Brett Hankinson is a plainclothes detective. He's under investigation right now for numerous accusations, including sexual assault. He joined the department in 2003. Miles Cusgrove is a Louisville Metro Police Department, and he had been recently transferred to the Narcotics Division in 2016. So just before midnight on March the 13th, 2020, the Louisville police entered the apartment of Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker using a battering ram to force open the door. The police were investigating two men they believe were selling drugs, neither of which lived there. I'm going to have to stop it there. We're going to pick it up there again when we get back, because it's important that you understand the facts of this case and why no-knock warrants are such a bad idea, and we need a Supreme Court decision to stop it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Bankruptcy attorney Ed Laughlin.
I really hate to see families suffer, especially when there's something they can do. If you have too many bills to pay, the truth is that filing bankruptcy may be the best thing you ever do. I'm not just saying it, let me prove it to you. That's why I offer a free initial consultation. Call me, because you shouldn't just have to sit there and worry.
Call 1-800-492-2589. The phone call is free, and so is the appointment. You're going to feel a whole lot better.
Arch Coons, the owner of ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, Texas, is an avid gun enthusiast and enjoys helping all of his customers to find the gun that's perfect for them. With a large selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, finding the right gun becomes easy. Go to ANC Firearms, located at 5819 U.S. Highway 190 in Heidenhammer, or call them 254-983-4417. Pistols, rifles, shotguns, ammo, knives, and a whole lot more. ANC Firearms, 254-983-4417.
Here at the Logic Nation, we often encourage you to be logical. Now, I've got two more great words to live by. Get supplied. With Studio L as a center point, Smith Supply will provide you with everything to clean anything and deliver it on time within 150 miles. That means we can deliver cleaning supplies to any facility, any business, including hotels and motels, even industries and factories, anywhere in the Killeen, Temple, Fort Hood Metro, Waco, and Austin. No matter where you are, we can ship to your order. We also provide janitorial services and building maintenance in some areas. And our Temple showroom and our online catalog are open to the public. We're here to save you money and get your supplies to you on time, every time. So, get supplied. Since 1961, we're Smith Supply, 254-773-3592, and online at smithsupply.com.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And, with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Welcome back to Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and you caught me trying to send a quick text here before we went back on the air, but I've got it sent and I'm ready to go now. Excuse me. So we're talking about no-knock warrants right now. If you'd like to call in, ask a question, make a comment, the phone number is 866-895-6442. We're talking about specifically the Breonna Taylor shooting and murder during a no-knock warrant. I'm going to go into a little bit of details about the facts of that case, and you decide for yourself whether you think this was done correctly or wrongly, whether you think it's just really not worth it to have no-knock warrants anymore. So shortly after midnight on March 13th of this year, 2020, Louisville police entered the apartment of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. They used a battering ram to force open the door. They had a no-knock warrant issued by a judge. They were investigating two men they believe were selling drugs. And this home that they were using the battering ram to enter was included in this no-knock search warrant. It wasn't the only home that was part of it, but it was included in that. And it was signed by Judge Mary Shaw. And basically, reportedly on it, representations by the police that one of the men had used the apartment to receive packages. The suspected drug dealer had allegedly been seen walking into the apartment one January afternoon. Now, again, get this was March 13th when the no-knock warrant was executed. But he was seen in January entering the apartment with a package from the United States Postal Service. They also said that they had been, so that was in January. The warrant and the search was in March. Anyway, with a U.S. Postal Service package before leaving and driving to a known drug house. And the man had been receiving packages at the apartment. So he arrived with a postal package, and he left with a postal package. I'm not sure what to make of that, but you use your own common sense on what you might think might have had something to do with that. Supposedly, the U.S. Postal Service had told the law enforcement, the inspector, that he had been receiving packages at the apartment, but they also said that they had told the police that there were no packages of interest being received there. This is the United States Postal Inspector telling the police this. The Louisville police stated they announced themselves while entering the home after knocking several times, saying they were Louisville Police Department officers with a search warrant. Neighbors and Taylor's family dispute this, saying that there was no announcement and that Walker and Taylor believed that someone was breaking in. causing Walker to act in self-defense. Walker told the police in his interrogation that Breonna Taylor yelled multiple times, "Who is it?" after hearing a loud bang at the door, but received no answer. And that he then armed himself. Now, Walker, the boyfriend, again, is a licensed firearm carrier. He shot first, striking a police officer in the leg. In response, the officers opened fire with more than 20 rounds, hitting objects in the living room, dining room, kitchen, hallway, bathroom, and both bedrooms. Breonna Taylor was shot 8 times and pronounced dead at the scene. There were no drugs found in the apartment. According to anonymous sources who spoke to a local television station there, one of the 3 officers allegedly fired blindly from the exterior of the residence through a window with closed blinds and curtains. Anyway, so in the investigation and aftermath of this no-knock search, it went horribly bad, right? I think we can all agree that it went horribly bad. The police filed an incident report that was almost entirely blank. The report stated that Taylor had no injuries. Now, again, Breonna died with 8 gunshot wounds. The police report said she had no injuries. It also stated that there was no forced entry occurred, even though they used a battering ram to enter the apartment. The police department said that there were technical errors that led to this report. So the officers, of course, when something like this happens, all of them, they're being investigated, right? Internal investigation, the FBI, whoever. All 3 officers involved were placed on administrative reassignment with pay, I might add, pending the outcome of the investigation by the police department. The findings were given to the Kentucky Attorney General, who determined whether any officer should be criminally charged. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher also asked the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office to review the findings. The FBI is also conducting its own independent investigation that was announced in May of this year, about a month ago exactly today. In early June, Officer Hankerson was removed from the Louisville Police Department. Hankerson was one of 5 members of the board, which consists of 3 civilians and 2 police officers. On June 19th, yesterday, the Louisville Mayor Police Interim Chief sent Hankerson a letter notifying him that termination proceedings were coming against him. The letter also accused him of violating departmental policies on the use of deadly force by wantonly and blindly firing into the department without determining whether any person presented an immediate threat or whether there were any innocent persons present. The letter also cited past disciplinary action that had been taken against Hankerson by the police department or other things, including reckless conduct. There are also sexual assault allegations currently against Hankerson. Now, that's a totally separate investigation. Doesn't have anything to do with this particular incident. Now, the boyfriend of Breonna Taylor, the one that shot first and shot the officer in the leg, initially faced criminal charges of first-degree assault and attempted murder of a police officer. The police there said they announced themselves before entering the home and were immediately met with gunfire from Walker. According to their statement, Walker discharged his firearm first, injuring the officer. Walker's lawyer said that Walker thought someone was entering the residence illegally and that he only acted in self-defense. The 911 calls have now been released to the public on that, and Walker is recorded on the 911 call with the operator saying, and I'm going to quote this, "Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend." He was later released from jail due to coronavirus concerns, which we all know that's happening quite a bit, which drew a lot of criticism, as you can well imagine. And then a judge released him from home incarceration on May the 22nd. The prosecution moved to dismiss all charges against him in late May. The case could be presented to a grand jury later on once the FBI and the Kentucky Attorney General's investigations have been completed. But at this point, on June the 16th, the district attorney there filed a motion to permanently dismiss the indictment against Walker on attempted murder and assault. And the motion also asked Stevens to grant Walker immunity because he was within his rights to defend himself and Taylor under Kentucky's Stand Your Ground law, which we have that same law here in the great state of Texas. Anyway, so we got more to talk about when we get back, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Law Talk.
DWI and criminal defense attorney Ed Laughlin.
Just because you or a loved one has been pulled over or arrested for DWI does not mean you're guilty of DWI. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin, and to be arrested and charged with DWI, the officer has to only have probable cause that you're intoxicated. It's only the officer's opinion. However, to be convicted of DWI, your guilt must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a much stricter burden. If you have been arrested for DWI or any other offense and want an attorney who will rigorously defend you, call me at 1-800-492-2589 or log on to my website at edlaughlin.com. Over the past 25 years as an attorney, I've been both a prosecutor and now a defense attorney. You need an experienced attorney who will work hard to get you the justice that you deserve.
What are you waiting for? Call Ed now at 1-800-492-2589 to schedule a free confidential appointment or visit Ed's website at edlaughlin.com. First visit is always free. You're going to feel a whole lot better. See Ed's ad and names and numbers.
Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop auto shop, family owned and operated at 1402 North 3rd Street in Temple. Why go to another dealer? Quick Wrench Automotive, a full-service preventive maintenance and automotive repair center, offers a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty on most repairs nationwide, which also includes complimentary roadside assistance. Quick Wrench also offers the best price for oil changes around at $17.95 plus tax, which includes 5 quarts of oil, new oil filter, washer fluid, and complimentary 23-point inspection. Other great deals are available on our Facebook page as well as our website, quickwrenchautomotive.com. Give us a call Monday through Friday at 254-935-2145 to speak with an ASE certified technician. Quick Wrench Automotive, your one-stop shop for all your automotive needs.
Some knowledge belongs to us and us alone. The way our girlfriends walk, the way they talk, the way they touch their hair. We hold details that only a sister can know about her girls. But what about our other girls? The ones that we carry with us every day. Can we describe them when everything's right? Can we feel when something's wrong? Our bond with our sister girls gives life. But knowing your breasts can save it. Go to knowyourgirls.org for the facts you need on breast health. That's knowyourgirls.org. Brought to you by Susan G. Coleman and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
All right, welcome back, Central Texas. You're listening to Law Talk, and I'm attorney Ed Laughlin. And you know what? This looks like this may be the final segment of the show. And don't forget to listen to Shane do his weekend logic here coming up in just about 15 minutes. And Shane, you want to tell folks what you're talking about again, how to find you from 10 to 12?
Sure. From 10 to 12 on Saturdays, we have Weekend Logic, where we talk about what's gone on in the previous week and what to look forward to in the next week. And so this week, a lot's gone on, and it's mainly been on the legal/political front. The Supreme Court pushed their ruling for DACA, saying that the Trump administration did not go through procedures properly. Pelosi's trying to get rid of Confederate statues and paintings throughout the Capitol. Then the Trump rallies tonight, and there's a lot of people up in arms about that. They're worried about Antifa and Black Lives Matter coming in and destroying everything in Tulsa this evening. So there's a lot going on, as well as the coronavirus is keeping the economy down. The stock market did drop a little bit this week, so we'll talk about that and more. And just the story that you talked about earlier, Ed, with Barr and the New York attorney. Well, Trump is nominating the SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, to replace Berman as the U.S. attorney in New York. So that's what's going on.
I've seen that. So certainly plenty to talk about. Well, thanks, Shane, and we'll look forward to hearing your show. It's starting at about 10:05. So we've been talking about no-knock searches, and very controversial thing. And hopefully you, those of you listening out there, will ever be affected by this in any manner. But there are times when police go to the wrong apartment, the wrong home. There's erroneous evidence given to be able to get the search warrant, and things are done inappropriately. One of the things in this Breonna Taylor situation is, of course, there's been a wrongful death lawsuit filed, as you would imagine. The Taylor and her boyfriend were asleep in their bedroom when the incident happened. The police were in unmarked cars. None of the officers were wearing body cameras, which, by the way, in this day and age, I think that ought to be mandatory. Anytime any law enforcement does anything, they should be wearing body cameras. All three were plainclothes narcotics officers. If they had seen these people walking in or breaking in, they didn't even see them, they just heard them. But if they had seen them, they would have had no idea whether they were police or someone coming in to rob them. The evidence is that the officers entered the home. Breonna and her boyfriend thought they were people there to rob them and hurt them. They say they did not announce themselves as peace officers. The police say they did. There is no video of it or no audio of it. Neighbors say they did not announce themselves as police officers. So, it's going to be he said, she said kind of a thing, who you believe. But the boyfriend and the neighbors are saying they didn't announce themselves. The police say they did. So I'll just leave it at that. there was damage to bullets to the apartment next door, so they were really spraying that just all over, shooting. Over 20 shots were fired by the police department. There's been a lot of reaction, a lot of things going on in regard to that. And, right here in Central Texas, we have a stand your ground doctrine. And critics to no-knock warrants say that they are prone to lead to deadly use of force by police and deaths of innocent people. No-knock warrants also conflict with the right of self-defense, the stand your ground laws, castle doctrine, whatever you want to call it, which explicitly permits the use of deadly force against intruders. And federal law had generally allowed or required no-knock announcements. It's codified in law, but there was a case, Wilson versus Arkansas, and that was in 1995. The court created an exception to prevent the destruction of evidence. And their Supreme Court in Hudson versus Michigan ruled by a 5-4 vote that held that the exclusionary rule does not require suppression of evidence police seize during an illegal forced entry. And so, according to the U.S. Department of Justice, that judges and magistrates may lawfully and constitutionally issue no-knock warrants where circumstances justify a no-knock entry. And federal law enforcement officers may lawfully apply for search warrants under these kind of circumstances. That the officers do not have to take affirmative actions to make independent re-verification of the circumstances already recognized by the magistrate. So in the Breonna instance, they saw a person enter Breonna's apartment 2 months prior to the no-knock warrant. And no-knock warrants can be issued in every state in the United States except Oregon, where they do have a state law banning no-knock warrants, and Florida. And that's a state where there was a 1994 state Supreme Court decision that prohibited no-knock warrants. 13 states have laws explicitly authorizing no-knock warrants, and 20 additional states, no-knock warrants are very routinely granted. Again, statistically, the no-knock rates have increased dramatically from around 3,081 to more than 50,000 in 2018. During that time, it's led to deaths of innocent people. It's increasingly common. And in Utah, I'll give you an example, no-knock warrants make up about 40% of all warrants issued. In Maryland, 90% of all SWAT deployments are there to serve search warrants, and 2/3 of those are through forced entry. And over the last 7 years, 81 civilians and 13 officers have died during these SWAT raids, including 31 civilians and 8 officers during the execution of a no-knock warrant. Half of the civilians killed were members of a minority. Of those subject to a SWAT search, 42% are black, 12% are Hispanic. And so there's just been a lot of controversy. There's a lot of cases out there that there have been other examples of no-knock warrants. Right here in Bell County, we have a gentleman in jail right now, Marvin Lewis Guy. He's in jail for capital murder after he shot and killed a police detective outside his home during the execution of a no-knock warrant in May of 2014. Now, folks, that's 6 years ago, and he is still not gone to trial. 6 years in the Bell County Jail for this indictment on a no-knock warrant. If they had just knocked, yes, he may have been guilty. He may have destroyed some drugs, but at least that officer would have been alive still. They probably would have still gotten their evidence, and they would have been able to indict him and taken him to trial. So it's just a tragedy that should have never happened, and it's happened right here in our county, Bell County. All right, that's all the time I have. Hey, listen, a happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Have a great day tomorrow. I'll be back on the radio again next Saturday. I'm attorney Ed Laughlin.
Sweet strawberry icing. You were strolling along in Goodwill when just past that mid-century side table and denim jacket you spotted them, nestled in their display case. Miniature donut earrings. Oh, yes! Yes! Your favorite half-breakfast pastry, half-all-day dessert food, made into your favorite form of ear candy. Oh, my. Those bejeweled sprinkles have satisfied some unknown hunger within you. Shh, do you smell that? That's the sugary scent of shopping success. For this is Goodwill. And with every item you buy, you fund local job training and more. So go forth. Bring home those donut earrings. And bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Company.